Good evening, Canada. We are back this week with our new program, Voice of Canada, with our charming female co host, Patricia Pollack, and your host, Asphandiar Wadiwalla. We have a very dynamic guest this evening, Andrew Fahmy.
Thank you very much
Welcome
for
to our
having me.
show. Who is contesting the next federal elections, which is nearly 2 years from now. But we never know whenever the elections can be called. He is a candidate on our Conservative Party's ticket. Welcome back.
Thank you very much,
Go
Asmi.
ahead.
Thank you very much, Patricia, for having me here today. It's wonderful to be here on Voice of Canada.
I am your co host, Patricia Pollack from Voice of Canada, along with our host, Aspie at Wadiwalla. This evening's guest, Mr. Andrew Fahmy, a young bright man who is contesting the next federal election for a House of Commons seat as our MP from Mississauga in Erin Mills. Please tell us a little bit about yourself, about this news.
Thank you very much, Patricia, for the question. And I'm seeking the nomination in Mississauga Air Mills with the Conservative Party of Canada to represent that riding. I've been part of that riding for the past 10 years, from nominations to elections, and I've been involved politically for more than a decade right now. Uh, the reason why I put my name forward is it's something that uh, I feel compelled to in the
Rather, the
light of
need, you
everything.
felt the need that the people need a voice.
Absolutely. People need to have a strong voice to represent them in the parliament, and having that kind of representation and a voice, and someone who is willing to listen and understand the depth of the issues, and making sure that we can find solution, all of us together. I'm all about unity and how we can all, when we get together, incredible things happen.
Thank you. Andrew, as we note from your bio, that you are a multilingual fellow, young guy, multilingual. You speak English, French, which is our national languages, plus Arabic because you're a Coptic Christian.
Correct.
So it's a great asset because nowadays we need bilingual people in our country. What would you say to that?
Well, toutes mes études étaient en français.
Very
All
good.
my studies were definitely in French. I spent more than 17 years in school studying French until I graduated from high school from Saint Famille Catholic School here in Mississauga, and I learned the French from when I was back in Egypt.
Lovely.
I was in a French school, and it's something that never left me.
Mhm.
Having an Arabic skill too, I can definitely reach out to a lot of the Arabic community from the Middle East, and having that similarity of the Middle East culture helps me to have that communication with the Canadian of Arab backgrounds.
As you stated that French you even learned it in Egypt.
Correct.
So, for information of our viewers, let us know, is the French second language in Egypt, or
No,
no? After
French.
the Arabic, the English, or the French is the second language?
I think it would be mostly English.
English, but
in
still
Egypt.
French is there.
Yeah, Egypt was a French colony for some time,
Mhm.
so there has been
Definitely, the influence of French.
influence of French has a history in every street of Egypt.
Go ahead.
Andrew, inform us of and our viewers of what you do currently in your life as a young, vibrant man.
Thank you very much for that question. And today I work as the executive assistant in the Ministry of Public and Business Service Delivery as the executive assistant for the parliamentary assistant. And part of my job is to assist the parliamentary assistant in their day-to-day.
Day-to-day work. Yeah.
So whether consultations, announcements, things that are related to the parliament, how we can make sure that every legislation or anything that we put forward is acceptable by the parliamentary protocol, and would not cause any problems or contradicting to existing laws as well. That's part of my day to day. I've been in that position for 5 months now. Prior to that, I was the executive assistant to the parliamentary assistant, the Ministry of Tourism, Culture and Sport. for about 9 months, and prior to that, I was the executive assistant to the Mississauga Erin Mills MPP, and I've worked there for 4 years alongside MPP Sri Sabawi.
Yeah, we've got a very good experience, especially in this riding.
Absolutely, it's been very challenging times over the last couple of years, especially during the pandemic.
That was a challenge for the whole world.
Absolutely, and we saw what happened in the pandemic, and I still remember vividly in March of 2020 when the announcement of the pandemic
It was a
has
shock.
started.
It was a complete shock.
Absolutely. Everyone felt scared, worried, didn't know what to do, and everybody started looking at the government on what they can do and how they can assist in that kind of
Most
time.
crucial period for everybody.
Absolutely.
But still, we Canadians, we kept our hopes and our spirits high. And with the help of our government and our politicians and all, they worked really hard during COVID.
100%. And as the executive assistant for the MPP at the time, I felt compelled that our office is essential in that time. So all the staff, I really commend the staff that has worked during that time, came back to the office, and we were there. Doesn't matter if it was
attending people.
A hard time or not, we were there on time, making sure that our office was the link between the people and the government, and how we can assist during that time. How can we bring people together? How can we find companies that can assist in whether in PPEs?
That's what our conservative principles are.
100%.
To help Canadians, whoever comes knocking our door, we are there to help.
Absolutely.
Okay, Andrew, tell us more about your education qualifications. In which major subjects you have obtained a degree?
Absolutely. I studied. My first study was at University of Ontario Institute of Technology as a pharmaceutical chemistry for 2 years, and after that, I tried to work with that experience. However, I found challenges in the market. There wasn't too many jobs availability during that time, so I took a year off and I started working in the financial services. I got introduced to the financial services sector, and I fell in love with it. At that point, I've applied to York University, and I went to study financial and business economics degree, and I continued working in the financial services for 7 years.
Awesome.
Got all my qualifications, security licenses, life license qualification programs, to make sure my main focus was how can I help people to plan whether they live for too long or they die too soon. And you need to plan on both sides, how you can have financial stability and making sure that you provide for you and your family. And I've always said government does not usually give a dignified retirement. However, they provide some sort of a retirement. It's up to the people to decide what retirement looks like and what they want their retirement to be.
Definitely. Go ahead.
Andrew, with your political experience of nearly a decade at our MPP office, what are your plans for Mississauga's Erin Mills that our Canadians should vote in favor of your next federal election?
I'm very happy with that question because there's a lot to fix. After 8 years of the Liberal government being in power, we see the real hard, tough times that every family and every person is dealing with right now. Doesn't matter what socioeconomic family you come from or what you're dealing with.
Where you belong to.
Everyone is feeling the pressure. From our young generations that are trying to get housing, or the newcomer that just still stepping foot and can't find a
job in their own field or various other factors.
And the people that have been living here and feeling the safety is fleeing away from our country. So we started to see more robberies, more attacks, gun violence,
car snatching.
Absolutely, and it becomes our daily norm, and we should never normalize crime at any point. That's some of the reasons why I'm looking at running and putting my name forward. As a person who believe in equality, we need to have the environment where people can thrive, not just survive. And what I've been hearing from everyone on a day-to-day basis, whether on kitchen tables, family gatherings, friends outings, you hear from people how they're struggling nowadays with the inflation and the price of everything
We'll be
going up.
discussing this issue a little later because there
Absolutely.
are lots of issues about the COVID, after COVID.
Absolutely.
So, Andrew, as you are aware that your riding is a very popular riding, Erin, Mississauga, Erin Mills. So there would be more than one candidate. Means for so our party will be holding nomination meetings, nomination, formal nomination. So what are your preparations for your nomination? That will be the first step before you fight the actual elections.
Absolutely. So the first step right now is the nomination, which is the internal polling within that Mississauga area mills to choose who's going to be the conservative candidate for the next election. And I'm humbled that I have the ability to put my name forward, and I wish every contestant that is planning to put their name forward all the best. Uh, uh, Definitely part of the preparation that I'm working on is just going out and talking to the community, talking to the
Are
people
you
of
knocking the
Mississauga
doors
area.
already or no?
I'm talking to a lot of people,
Lot of
whether door
people.
knocking,
Hmm.
phone calls, people that
And you have an
I've been
advantage
close.
because the office which you work is the same riding. So you meet your riding people only.
Yeah, it does give me
An advantage.
an advantage. However, I've been part of Mississauga Air Mills for quite some time. I enjoy talking to the people there. I've been part of Mississauga Air Mills for at least 6 years full time now. And I've built relations over the years. It's not just constituents that I look at, it's people that
You
I've
have
met,
formed some
talked
relationships with
to,
them. Yeah.
and I understand the struggle that they deal with on a day to day basis.
You're a people's man now in the riding.
It's I think it's something that has to deal more with the character of the person. And for me, I've always looked at how I can
And how you have
partner with
worked and helped the people.
help people, and I've always found that the more that you give, the more that you get. And I definitely believe in unity. The more that we get united and working together, the better the outcome always happens.
Go ahead.
Andrew, as you are contesting from a vibrant Mississauga Air Mills riding, please inform us the total registered voters and what are the demographics in your riding?
So Mississauga Air Mills has about 90,000 voters, registered voters, and
it will be much more by the time election is announced.
Yeah, there are a couple of developments happening as well in Mississauga Air Mills. So there are more people that are joining in Mississauga Air Mills with the Matami building on the Ninth Line area. So I can assure you that 100% of those 90,000 are 100% Canadian. And I think all of them care about their safety and what they need to do here. Mississauga Air Mills is vibrant with a lot of people from different ethnic backgrounds. And fortunate enough, 55% of the riding are people of first generation immigrants. And we all know someone or we've been part of that journey, whether we came as immigrants or we know a family that immigrated here in Mississauga Air Mills or in Mississauga in general. Part of the beauty of Mississauga is how we can all be united. It doesn't matter where you come from, but people right now are struggling. They're having a hard time making ends meet. Mortgage prices are
that we are going to discuss at
definitely very
length
high.
what all the problems we are facing.
Yeah.
So I'll be asking you a question and we need a lengthy answer, proper answer, what our viewers are expecting.
Yes, I totally agree with you. But Mississauga Air Mills is very vibrant with a lot of ethnicities, whether from the Chinese community, Pakistani community, the Arab community, Egyptians, Coptic, Middle Eastern, Polish, Ukrainian, South Americans.
It's a multicultural
It's a very
riding.
multicultural riding, and we should all be proud of how we can all of us be together on one land, and we all want that land to prosper. A lot of those people chose Canada as a place where they become their own home.
Absolutely.
And all of them care about the prosperity of this country, this nation, and how we can make it better for us and for the next generation too.
Mhm. Thank you. We will be taking a short break and we'll be back with you soon. Thank you.
मशरकी तहजीब की खूबसूरत दास्तान, बरसों से चली आ रही रिवायतों का पासबान, खुशबू और जायके का वही कदरदान, करते हैं हर खाने में अपने लज्जत का एहतमाम। हर पकवान है बेमिसाल, हर खुशबू है लाजवाब। कढ़ाई पॉइंट, जायका ऐसा कि दिल जीत ले। आज ही हमारे कढ़ाई पॉइंट तशरीफ लाएं और अपनी खुशियों को हमारे संग मनाएं। कढ़ाई पॉइंट, मेड विद क्वालिटी and flavored with passion.
Popeyes has opened a brand new location in downtown Vancouver. Satisfy your craving for Cajun at this new location off West Georgia and Hamilton Street, where you'll find all your favorite Louisiana-inspired menu items. We sampled the unrivaled trio of sandwiches, the classic, the deluxe, and the blackened deluxe chicken sandwich, and all were delicious. All of the signature fried chicken is marinated for 12 hours, then hand-battered and breaded, served with Cajun fries and mac and cheese on the side. Plus, for a limited time, you can try Popeye's Crispy Chicken Wrap, available now until September 3rd. Check out the new Popeye's location at 700 Hamilton Street today. Who are you bringing with you? Tag them in the comments.
This is the latest opening in BC for Popeyes, with more openings coming soon in both Alberta and BC by PLK Group.
Love that chicken from Popeyes.
आदाब, नमस्ते और सत श्री अकाल। जब भी बात होती है कार एक्सीडेंट की तो हम तलाश करते हैं एक लॉयर को, और हमारे पास मौजूद हैं चैंपियन। जी हाँ, डेविड हेमोफार।
Yes, thank you. I'm David Himmelfarb. I have over 30 years experience in personal injury matters. We have a downtown Toronto location with over 22 lawyers to service you. And we speak your language, Urdu, Punjabi, and Hindi. We have a great community liaison, Anjum Qureshi.
आप हमें कॉल कर सकते हैं 4165700157।
मैं नासिर शाह, आपका मॉर्गेज ब्रोकर। अगर आपको मॉर्गेज चाहिए किसी तरह की, होटल लेना है, मोटर लेना है, गैस स्टेशन लेना है, या किसी प्लाजे में कोई यूनिट बाई करना है, तो उसके लिए आप हमें कॉल करें। हम दो चीजों की गारंटी करते हैं, आपको बेस्ट टर्म्स एंड कंडीशन और बेस्ट रेट दिलाएंगे। आप कॉल करें 647-741-9000, 647-741-9000।
HK Movers, home, offices, apartments and delivery, big or small, we move it all.
HK Movers.
Local and long distance, we also ship cars, Keller transport and moving services.
For service with a smile, give us a call.
Call Mr. Harminder 416-524-6704.
416-524-6704 पे.
Visit 140 Advance Boulevard, Unit number 10, Brampton.
Long distance moving specialist.
HK Movers.
HK Movers.
डिक्सी इलेक्ट्रॉनिक्स और अप्लायंसेस पिछले 16 सालों से खरीदारों की खिदमत कर रहे हैं। हम लगातार 4 सालों से खरीदारों की पहली पसंद बने रहने का अवार्ड हासिल कर चुके हैं। हम किचनर्स, बॉश, वर्लपूल, एलजी, सैमसंग और जनरल इलेक्ट्रिक के ऑथराइज्ड डीलर हैं। 5 स्टार खिदमत का लुत्फ लें। हम आप सभी को टीवी सबसे ज्यादा रियायती दामों पर देने की गारंटी देते हैं। www.dixieelectronics.ca हमारी वेबसाइट पर जाएं या अभी कॉल करें 905-625-5900। सभी बहुत ही मुनासिब कीमत पर दस्तयाब हैं, जो आप बाआसानी से ले सकते हैं। At Dixie, we sell quality and deliver confidence.
Welcome back after a short break in our weekly talk show, Voice of Canada. Your host, Asphandiar Wadiwalla, and our female co-host, Patricia Pollack. And we have got a lovely, dynamic young gentleman, Andrew Fahmy, who is going to be our next federal MP from Mississauga, Erin Mills. Welcome back after the break.
Thank you very much, Aspi.
Andrew, you inform our viewers once you know that once you win the nomination meeting, you are the actual candidate to contest for against other party candidates from the Conservative Party of Canada. So during that process, the first step for the candidate, the nominated candidate, will be to form his own EDA. Immediately ask the party to arrange an AGM. And once the AGM is formed, you will have to form a board of your choice who can work shoulder to shoulder with you during the election activities. So would you throw some light on this process?
Absolutely. And it's not necessarily true that you have to change the board. I have a great relation with the current board members that are in there. And as I said previously, I believe in unity and building those relationships. And we build on the past. We cannot just put it on the sideline or ignore it. We have to start looking on how understand the past, understand the people that built.
Oh, that's
that
a good
riding.
sign that you have got a good understanding with the current board also.
Absolutely.
But usually when a new nominated candidate comes, that's a normal practice.
Yeah.
He forms a board with his confidence.
Yeah, no, I have full confidence on the people that are on the board,
Very
and
good.
I've built
I'm
relations
glad to
with
hear
them
that.
over-
I'm glad
over
to
the
hear
years.
that you have got good relationing with the people.
Absolutely, and even if there is some sort of a disagreement that ever arises, it's not something that you should disregard. It's something that you should hear it, understand it, and see how you can fix it. Some of the criticism sometimes is good, and you need to understand it and listen to it and learn from that
Definitely.
criticism.
You have to be a good listener
Absolutely.
in politics.
100%.
Thank you. Go ahead.
Andrew, inform our viewers of what changes you will be bringing to the Erin Mills riding, which has a sitting MP since the last 3 terms of office from our ruling party.
So I believe after 8 years of Justin Trudeau being in power, people are starting to feel that pressure. And
Now
this
the
is
time has
not-
come for a change.
That time has come for a change, and you need to have someone that is willing to speak on the things that matters to the voters and to Canadians. I believe I can bring that voice. I believe that I formed enough experience within the past 5 years of understanding how to put these changes and what you need to do in a way that how can we find a solution? It's not a matter of a yes or no. It's what's the compromise here? What's the balance? What can we do to make things better? It's common sense and how we can bring that common sense into a legislation, into a form of a law. How can we bring that?
Common sense, not so much common this morning.
And I believe that it is common. It's not being implemented right. Sometimes the way that we communicate our common sense can cause problems. My job has always been centered around, let me hear you out. I understand the frustrations, and there's a lot of emotions because a lot of people go out and speak on what matters to them.
Definitely.
Otherwise, they wouldn't come to their MP or MPP with it
if they don't have
if
any
they don't
grievances
believe
or
in it.
problems. Yeah.
Absolutely.
You're very
So
passionate.
they're passionate. They have a lot of ideas. It's something that concerns them, that affects their life, their career, their job. Doesn't matter what the concern is. However, you need to listen on what the issue is. How can identify the problem, see how we can find a solution.
At the core.
Andrew, as you are aware, the world is talking about climate change, and the climate is changing worldwide.
Yes.
We see various, even what climate we used to see in Canada 20 years ago is not the same. It has changed. So, but there is a controversial carbon tax which the current ruling party has imposed on us, and now it is squeezing the Canadians. And every year, in every fiscal year, he's rising the carbon tax and making the life more miserable for Canadians. What are your views on carbon tax? Would you be favoring the carbon tax, or would you be favoring for to abolish the carbon tax, whatever party is is trying to do since long. But as we are not in power, so we are unable to do that. So give us your views on carbon tax.
Absolutely. And global warming and the effects on the environment is real. And we need to have strong action on how we can bring it together. However, Canada is not the only source of that carbon. A lot of the measures that we put right now does not help the environment whatsoever.
For
we
Canada,
missed
yeah.
every single target that we've said and announced that we're going to meet so far. And the carbon tax, it's clear that it did not help with the environment. It's just an extra tax that is
Taking
being
money
pulled
from the people.
From Canadians, and it's not going anywhere. It's not helping the environment. It's not putting any green measures that are out there. And even the reimbursement that you get, it's like you're taking money and you're giving it from, like, you're taking from the right
It's
hand
just
and
a
you're giving
show
out
for
with
the
the
sake
left
of
hand.
show, nothing else.
So it does not really prove what it's intended to do. However, there are a lot better measures on how we can save the environment, and at the same time, we can use what we need here in Canada and our resources to make sure that our Canada prosper. On any day, I would take Canadian oil over any other oil anywhere else in the world.
Definitely.
Why not?
That we'll be speaking on oil also, because I've done quite a bit of research on oil.
Yeah.
I had the MPPs speaking on it. And after that, I called an expert from the refinery.
Yeah.
A guy who has served his life for about 40 years in refinery. And he gave real facts and figures about Canada, and it was shocking.
Yes.
Believe me, it was shocking. I also never knew about it, but we'll talk about that later.
Absolutely.
Go ahead.
Sure. So, Andrew, as you have officially announced to contest the next federal election as MP from Mississauga, Erin Mills Conservative Riding, have you started meeting people in your riding? So inform us. What specific requirements are there in your particular riding which the current MP failed to achieve?
What they pinpoint, what the problems they are pinpointing currently in the recent times and recent conditions.
Definitely the number one issue I hear everywhere I go and talk to people and the voters of Mississauga Erin Mills is the cost of living. How things are becoming a lot more unaffordable. Young people can't find housing. Young people can't find a mortgage.
It's out of question now for the first-time buyer, what I feel.
And especially for first-time home buyers, things are very, very tough. And now they offer mortgages of 90 years amortization.
It's just a joke.
If I would start today my mortgage,
I would say
I would be mortgage free at 122 years old.
And when the lifespan is not that 123.
Trust me, with
with
my lifestyle, I don't think I will be living at 122.
You may live 150 years. It's our blessings to you. But the average, if you count the average Canadian, doesn't even complete 100.
Absolutely, you're absolutely right. And it's just the idea of thinking that when you're signing your mortgage paper, that's an exciting thing. You're getting your home, and you should be excited about it.
And the man
but
is
in
debt for life. Till he dies, he's not relieved.
Absolutely, and it's like, why am I signing this? It's for who?
He's signing a debt warrant.
And that's not even for your children. That's for your grandchildren. It's
that you will be leaving a liability for your children or for your head.
For your grandchildren, even. It's not even children.
Terrible.
Like 90 years, that's a third generation.
Yes.
It's not financially
So
sound.
who is putting these policies into the minds of these financial people and the mortgage and the banks?
It's how the market dictates things right now. And the financial institutions always have to find a way to make things sustainable, so we don't go into a financial meltdown. So they're feeling the pressure. The consumer is feeling the pressure. The only person that is not feeling the pressure right now is our Prime Minister.
Prime Minister, he's enjoying.
He's
He's
I
enjoying.
don't know what he's
Yeah.
thinking, but this clearly needs to be fixed. We need to start looking on how we can make things more affordable. The mortgage, the housing. We need to start developing lands, and we need to start looking at developing all different kinds of housing.
And even I feel that this term, particularly after the federal election took place, the Erin Mills MP is very low key.
Yeah.
I don't see her that vibrant in action anymore. Strong
Would be
voice.
a strong voice that would be able to voice these concerns and find solutions and sit with people and have that conversation, trying to find that balance. It's not going to be, I fully understand, it's not going to be fixed overnight. It's not going to be fixed within a month, too. The consequences of this inflation and all of what's happening is having a repercussion for years to come. But the more that we wait, the more that we're going to be feeling the pressure. So definitely we need to start acting on this and having a solution right away.
Go ahead.
Andrew, as you must be fully aware that due to the above problems our hosts discussed above, our food banks are overwhelmed and finding it difficult to provide food items. Are you working to assist our food banks? Any fundraising for food banks in mind?
I couldn't have said it any better. 1 in 4 Canadians right now is feeling the pressure of the inflation and cannot provide for their families. Food banks are at all-time high.
Very high, overwhelmed just now.
They're overwhelmed.
They're requesting and requesting and requesting. Every day we
Mississauga
receive
Food
the...
Bank has always been a cornerstone of Mississauga to help people during these hard times. And I really encourage everyone in Mississauga
to donate. Every time when they visit a grocery shop.
Yeah.
And now you see the big grocers.
Just 1 can of food.
But you see now the packets of donations are always ready.
Yeah.
Especially in our big grocery stores. And there are people, believe me, there are people when they go to buy their own grocery, they buy a packet and put in the bin.
Yeah. And
that is the way to help Canadians.
We always talk in Canada about building a community and having a community. It takes a community to build a community.
Absolutely.
We all have a social responsibility towards our neighbors, towards our friends. And Canadians have always been used to helping people.
They are known as passionate people. Canadians are known as passionate.
Yes.
And we've always felt compelled to help and go out of our way to assist our neighbor that is in distress or a friend that is having some struggle for a period of time. We all go through ups and downs in life. No life that is a monotone or going well for everyone throughout their lifetime. It's an ups and downs, and it takes a community to be there for each other. Talk to someone that is in need. Talk to someone that is looking for help and ask them, how can I help you?
And then with Thanksgiving right around the corner.
Yeah, and definitely Thanksgiving is a great time also to appreciate those blessings that
now
you have.
We must regularly help our Canadians.
Yeah.
It's not the Thanksgiving, but continuous. We should support our food banks.
Absolutely.
Because after the pandemic, I also work quite a bit for the food banks here in Mississauga, and we have done so many fundraising for them. So I was talking to some officials of the food bank, and I was surprised to note that now after the pandemic, after the second week is over every month, the third week we start getting a very huge demand from the people. And we have got new entrants who we never saw them on the list of food bank. Yeah. So see, the situation is becoming so dire for all Canadians. They go to food bank to put food on the table.
Yeah.
Many have started working a part-time jobs along with their full-time. But there is a limit.
Yeah.
How much can you work? Tell me.
It's for me.
And still they can't put a
it's-
food on the table.
Yeah.
The families are big, and there are so many expenses.
If you have a family, you also have a responsibility for that family, not just on a financial aspect, but to help around the house too, to have those chores that are going to be needed, to help with your partner, to assist them in raising the children if you have children. And definitely it's part of your responsibility as part of having that family. So can you work 2 jobs? Maybe. Third, it becomes tougher, and it always comes at an expense of something else. We need to start to see how we can bring companies back that can offer good paying jobs to allow people the freedom to bring their own paycheck and to provide for their families.
Andrew, let me add this thing to you for information. I'm also connected to Peel District School Board, and I do visit schools. And after the pandemic, I came across some children who they are crying in the lunch break.
Yeah.
And when you inquire from them, okay, what's wrong with you?
Yeah.
I have no lunch.
Yeah.
And then the teacher, when we inquire from the teachers, okay, what is the reason that this child in a week, 2 or 3 days is without a lunch, doesn't come bring. Parents are very particular. They would first put the lunch box in the bag.
Yeah.
Usually for the children going to school. But here, the conditions have changed so badly that people like us, we help them. We keep some pizzas, frozen pizzas and juices and fruits in the office and offer that to those children.
Yeah.
But we know we cannot tell them that your parents can't afford anything. Immediately, when you inquire from teachers, they say the parents are really hard up.
That's true. That's
they
true.
Cannot even give a breakfast
This
to the child.
reminds me of
and it's a sad thing.
Story.
It's a very, very unfortunate and sad.
It's very unfortunate.
And
this reminds me of a story that happened in one of the schools in Toronto, where a kid did not have a lunchbox, and his peer decided to share his lunchbox with that student. And this is what I'm talking about.
But still, Andrew, you are aware, due to COVID, we are not supposed to exchange any food items
Absolutely.
from one child to another.
Yeah,
we have to provide totally independent something to eat.
I agree.
The child.
I agree with you, but part of humanity and of who we are as humans,
True.
we like to help
because
others.
the rules are still in force.
Yeah, there
and
are
tomorrow,
rules.
if anything happens to that child, the parents will come and say,
But
the
I'm going to ask you a
infected
question.
food.
Is that student wrong for doing it? They have the right intention. It's about the intention on what you're trying to do and help
But there
out.
are hurdles,
There
in
are
our way.
definitely things, and there are programs that can assist in these type of situations. However, the problem is not just with the lunchbox. It goes beyond that lunchbox.
It's much beyond. We have got so many issues. The gas prices are not coming down.
Yeah.
Only this morning I heard that 6 cents are coming down tonight.
Yeah, that's
but that
because
is
of
not for long.
That's for the winter
It's
gas.
just eyewash.
That's the
it's
winter
changeover
gas.
to winter gas.
Yeah.
They are just doing it in bits in eyewash, and again within 2 days' time, it will be back to 160 to 170 per liter.
Yeah. And we've seen during the pandemic, and when there was no one really driving, and still the prices were at 170 and 180, and it the demand was not there. It does not give any reasoning for the price to be that high, and especially for Canada as the third largest oil reserve in the world.
So let me put in between
Yeah.
that what I have researched, we have got 18 refineries. Can you believe? Canada's got 18 refineries, which I myself never knew.
Yeah.
And when I investigated about the Sanya refinery, which is in Ontario,
Yes.
and I was shocked to get the figures from there, the production manager, that we only run 33%.
Yes.
Why? There is a red tape. There are hidden hands which are not allowing our own refineries to refine the gas for us. So we become self-reliant. At least Ontario can become self-reliant with production.
Canada can be
And
self-reliant.
Canada can be self-reliant. We don't have to import oil from US or the Arab
We
countries.
don't have a very big population. We can definitely be sustainable.
Believe me.
We have
But it's a
our
sad
own
situation.
natural resources that we can use for our own benefit.
Own benefits.
And not just for our own. We can actually help other
But we have to-
developing countries.
Why the governments
and
are not
everywhere.
taking action? They say it gives lots of pollution, but every country refines oil.
Every country
in the world.
oil, and I would
Especially if
take
you have
a
it.
Canadian.
If you have it, and we have
Especially
it,
if you have it,
and we
it's
have
a-
it.
It is a natural resource that you have in the
And a
country,
huge,
you can
huge
start
resource.
developing it right away. And I believe in the Canadian technology, and I believe in the Canadian refineries that they will do their absolute best.
Though it
to
costs
make
them more to
sure-
refine Canadian fuel, you must be knowing that crude.
Absolutely.
Our crude is a little hard to refine as compared to the Arabic.
It
fuel.
is
Yeah.
true, but it's not impossible.
And I believe the technology has its advanced.
Technology
time.
has advanced. We definitely have the technicalities on how we can do it, and we can start looking on how we can reduce the cost of getting those refineries going up and running
And producing, giving 100% production.
oil for our country. And I believe that we are not on the fair end of that deal. We take our oil, we send it to the United States at a subsidized housing, and then we buy it at a full price.
Full price.
It's
But anyhow, Andrew, as we are running out of our time, I would also like to inform you that even after the pandemic, the supply chain has broken.
Yes.
And still, we find shortages of products in our grocery stores.
Correct.
And the price have gone doubled.
Yes.
So that also is nobody is controlling. Free economy doesn't mean that just squeeze Canadians and make big holes in the pockets of Canadians.
Correct.
So we have to work very, very hard.
Yeah.
Once you become an MP, you will have to raise your voice for such issues because you have the liberty as a private member bill also.
Yeah.
If you've got any major problems, you can bring up your private member bill in the House, and that will be discussed by everybody.
Correct.
And some solution can be found.
Correct.
Go ahead, because we are getting signals to close the interview.
Sure. So,
In the end, just tell us about your activities in Scout before we sign out, because the production is giving me 3 signals I've received that our time is over.
I've been a scout for more than
Just be a little
25
prompt.
years since I was in Egypt, and when I came to Canada, I helped being part of the Coptic Church Scouts building team, and we have being a scout is something that goes deep into your roots and your beliefs. It's how you can be always prepared. How you can always be able to survive in hard conditions. And it's something that develops within your character. How can you think critically, be quick on your feet, go against the weather or being outside camping and with rain, with snow, and snow camping is fun. I love it, and I've done it a couple of times.
Andrew, sorry to interrupt again, because due to shortage of time, air time is very, very precious.
Absolutely.
So would you like to give a final message to our viewers of Voice of Canada?
Absolutely. Thank you very much, first of all, for
Welcome.
having me here. And thank you for all the viewers of Voice of Canada for tuning in and listening to me today. I really encourage everyone to take the time to be politically involved. Take the time to understand what your MP and MPP and local councillors and municipality do for you. Go to them and speak about your issues. Try to go with them with some of the solutions, not just the problem. It takes a community to build a community. And the more that we work together and the more that we're united, the better the outcome is going to be. This is our home. Canada is our home, and it's time for us to build the Canada that we all wish for.
Thank you. With that note, we will be signing out for this week's program of Voice of Canada. Your host, Asphandiar Wadiwalla, my female co-host, Patricia Pollack, who is also the author of a book, Manifest the Life You Want, The Donald Trump Way. So if you have got a chance, do read the book. The book is widely available on Amazon and other places.
Yes.
And she has authored, and it's quite an interesting book. So I suggest to read. If you can read, if you want to read it, read it. So with that note, we'll be saying goodbye, good night, and adios. God bless Canada. God save the King.